Uh, Good afternoon, Rob. When I'm doing my presentations, I always talk about you because you are, there for the members. But I'd like you to introduce yourself.
Yeah, well, I'm Robert Downs. I'm the area development manager for the FSB in Greater Manchester.
Okay. And how did you end up at the Federation of Small Businesses?
Well, it's a bit of a sort of a winding road to FSB, but my background was in local newspaper journalism, and did that for 12, 13 years. Towards the end of that, I was doing some freelance work for another business organisation, and then I got wind that the FSB was advertising for a development manager, and I was advised to go for it because I had some of the articles I've been writing were sort of on that theme. I'd been a special education correspondent for local newspapers, so that the education side of things around jobs and training and skills was sort of fresh in my mind, and that's how I really ended up at FSB. And I started in 2014 in July, and so I've just sort of done my 6-year anniversary with FSB, and time has flown.
Well, obviously, you've had some good partners to work alongside. That's what's
of course,
isn't it? And it hates me to say this, because I hate saying good things about you, but you do serve a very important role to the members, which quite often they don't realise when they're joining, do they? What you actually do.
I think they get the idea that there's the member benefits and that kind of the savings they'll make, but I don't think they realise that we have sort of a member of staff in the patch to support them, and I think that's actually we've seen a lot of that obviously with COVID-19. The first sort of 6 weeks after that erupted, the phone didn't stop ringing. There has been a real connection with the membership now. I've spoken to so many members and I've helped so many members. In fact, just last week I helped a business access the small business rate relief grant. Four grants actually for 4 different businesses, and it's just great to be able to help people and just do that kind of thing.
Yeah, no, it's great to have you there. So, and obviously we do a lot of banter between us, so you know how difficult it is for me to say that. So we get on.
Behind all good development managers is a good MA.
Right. Thank you for that. Have you found him yet? Right. Away from business, I think I know what one of these things are going to be. So, hobbies and passions outside business. What do you do in your spare time?
Well, believe it or not, I do quite like to keep fit and exercise. I think I turned 30 and was piling on the pounds, and I thought I really need to do something about this. So I do like to go to the gym, try and go 2 or 3 times a week. And on the flip side of that, I also quite enjoy fine dining, doing a bit of cooking, a bit of a dab hand in the kitchen, I like to think. So,
right.
Keeps the pounds off. Put the pounds on, keep the pounds off.
Yeah. See, I didn't know that about you, so I've learned something. I thought you were going to mention the other team in Manchester United. I thought that might come up. So.
I never talk about football. I'm a United fan. All my friends are City fans, and I try and avoid those conversations, especially at the moment.
Okay, right. So, can you recommend a podcast? I like listening to podcasts. Is there anything you'd like to recommend?
I'm not a massive fan of podcasts. I never really have been. I've never really got them. I've watched odd videos on YouTube, that kind of thing. The only podcast that I've ever sort of really got quite into was Gossip Mongers, which is a comedy one, and it's 3 people sitting there talking about rumours that from members of the public that they've had come in, and there's some real choice gossip comes in about the odd person that lived on someone's estate when they were kids, and that's something they'd rumoured to have done. So it can be quite choice, but it's very, very funny.
All right, well, that's a new one on me because
Gossip Mongers.
I've done a lot of these 6 Simple Questions interviews, and that's a new one. So that's great. Right, what about books? Anything you think we should be reading?
Always been a big reader. Less so in later years, obviously with children and all that. But I am sort of getting back into it now. Nothing that's non-fiction. I'm not a big fan of autobiographies, that kind of thing. I know some people do really slap them up. I'm more into the fiction type thing. So anything by Stephen King for me would work. My favourite book he that I've read from him was The Stand, which is I think was written in the 1970s. It's set actually in a post-apocalypse world after a devastating virus killed 99.9% of the population, and so it's just purely coincidental. That's one of my favourite ones. But I also like John Wyndham, Day of the Triffids. Another sort of post-apocalypse genre that obviously for some reason piques my interest.
And the FSB never gets mentioned in any of these books, do they?
Yeah, I like to completely remove myself from the real world when I immerse myself in a book.
Right. And the final question, I'm looking forward to this. Have you got any words of wisdom for people who are going to be watching this?
Any words of wisdom? Well, I would say if you're a business owner or a small business, my word of wisdom was to be joining the FSB. I think people say, why would you join the FSB? And we have a host of benefits, but I think the one thing we've seen during this pandemic is businesses who had our support in the background going into this. I think it's just been invaluable. And I've helped so many members, I've spoken to so many members, and the one thing that they've been really grateful to have is a friendly sort of word of advice, a friendly shoulder to speak to cry on, to speak to, and it's just been, I think, such a help for so many businesses. And I think going forward, I think it's going to be a tough couple of years ahead of us, and to have FSB watching your back, for the money, do it.
Right. Well, yeah, this is where I should be flashing my telephone number underneath now. So. Look, Rob, this is great. We talk on a regular basis anyway, but it's been great to pin you down for this this first interview that we're doing for FSB members, and should be interesting to see how we get on in the future with the member interviews next.
Excellent. So, look forward to seeing some of them.
Great. Thanks very much, Rob.
All right. Thanks, Simon.
Cheers. Bye.